All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. I hope we're all doing well today. Welcome to the stream. Hope we're all having a fantastic Saturday. Welcome. So today we've got a little bit of a different setup going on, as you may well notice with the stream. Highly recommend you guys watching today to go ahead and put the stream on the highest quality possible in YouTube. We're streaming in 2K, so 1440p. Even if your monitor doesn't do that, you'll still get a much sharper picture. So that's what we're testing out today. So I'm actually only on YouTube today, only live on YouTube, no Facebook or Twitch today. So exclusively, it's just me and you guys. It's just me and you guys. Shaved and all, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed, mate. But today it's going to be a pretty cool flight, I think. We are going to be flying from We're going to be flying to Queenstown. We're going to be flying from Auckland in New Zealand. We're doing a domestic flight from Auckland to Queenstown. Now, this has been a flight I've been wanting to do for quite some time, actually. There's an absolutely fantastic scenery available for Auckland, and now it's out. So, yeah, we're going to have a look at that. We've got the scenery by Flightbeam, and it is really, really, really good. So we'll have a quick look around that before we get started, although it is still pre-daylight here in New Zealand. We're on live weather, live time, and live players as well today. So if you want to fly along, you will need to put live players on because it won't let you join. You won't see me otherwise. So yeah, that is what we're going to do. And then we're flying south over to the South Island in New Zealand. We're flying southbound towards the mountainous region of the country, and I've still not quite got my my camera lined up properly here. I'm far too close to the chat here. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be flying over to Queenstown, and I've got although there is an airport included with the sim for Queenstown, we all know Asobo airports, they're a bit hit and miss, really, aren't they? Especially the ones that came with the sim by default. So I've actually gone and picked up the iniScene Queenstown scenery as well, which is also looking very, very nice. So looking forward to checking that out. I've only just got them today. I haven't actually been in... Excuse me, I haven't actually been in and looked at them in a great deal of detail myself. I'm just going by screenshots and videos that I've seen from other people. But they do look extremely exceptional, both of these sceneries, in fact. And I've also gone the whole hog today. Obviously on Orbx, they have a bit of a deal if you buy the Auckland City Pack with the New Zealand mesh. So I went ahead and got those two as well. So we've gone all in on New Zealand here today. And yeah, it should be pretty cool. I think the New Zealand mesh is quite a subtle thing, but I think it should look pretty cool. I think personally, something in Microsoft Flight Simulator that always bugs me is the mountains a little bit. They look a bit too rounded than that. So hopefully the New Zealand mesh fixes that. And just a little PSA as well for any of you, if you're thinking about getting the New Zealand mesh and you've been on flightsim.to and you see the free one on there. So I tried the free one out a little bit earlier on, and you guys may remember quite a while ago we tried one of the Austria meshes from flightsim.to. And although they're done by different creators, the mesh from flightsim.to, it caused me... I mean, it didn't cause me too much of a performance loss, but it basically caused me these really awkward stutters every minute or so. And that isn't good, really. I didn't like that, so I ended up uninstalling that. The mesh as well from flightsim.to, it's something like 2 and a bit gigabytes as well. If you compare that to the Orbx is 500 megabytes, and it's the same sort of detail, if you like. They're both 10 meter DEM. So I ended up getting the Orbx one. I thought, why not? And it's only £8, so not terribly expensive. And they are going to improve it in the future. They said they're going to go up to at least 1 meter DEM in some areas, they said. So just a little thought I had. If any of you guys have considered it, might be worth having a think about that. All right, so who have we got in the chat then? We've got a few people in the chat actually, looking pretty good. We've got Asa, good evening, sir. Hope you're doing well. Samuel, we've got Gritty Man, good evening, sir. Paul Blackman, good evening. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Chris, good evening, sir. Hope you're doing well. Lander Lakes, welcome. Good afternoon, evening to yourself also. And welcome to the stream. Thomas Rask, my brother. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good afternoon and welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's what the test video was yesterday. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to go live. I set that as private, so it wasn't supposed to go out to the public. But hey-ho, I messed up. Greedy Man, you agree? Amazing, dude. Yeah, it is definitely one of the best sceneries. I think one of the best airport sceneries. From what I've heard, I mean, like I say, I've not looked around it in that much detail myself, but just looking at a few, I had a very brief look around it earlier on, and it's very, very cool. One thing that I want to show you guys as well is now that it's still dark here is that I think they have, I think they've used some sort of custom taxiway lighting or something like that, because it looks different to normal and it looks really cool. And New Zealand is fantastic for VFR flying. Yeah, I've done a bit of VFR in New Zealand in the past, but not tons. But the approach into Queenstown, absolutely spectacular, and obviously flown in there by airliners, so it's pretty exciting. Yeah, Queenstown is amazing, isn't it, Chris? There's a lot of little airports actually on that southern island that are worth flying to. Same for Milford. Yeah, I've not flown into Milford Sound yet, but I definitely, that's on the list. That's on the list. That does look very, very cool. All right. Anyways, let's get things moving here. And yeah, we'll have a look around the airport here. So here we are at Auckland International. This is the Flightbeam scenery, like I was saying. And let's go ahead and have a bit of a browse around before we get set up. I was aiming for about 5 o'clock departure, which is about sunrise time. But I have a slight feeling we're not going to make that. So maybe 5:15, something like that. We'll do it. But let's see anyway. So here we are. We're going to just get outside the aircraft for now. It's all very quiet here. Look at the night lighting though. This looks so good, doesn't it? We've got obviously some static aircraft as part of the scenery as well. And this is what I meant about the taxiway lighting. So if you look over here, you can see how it's like blinking and flickering. I've not seen that in the default airports. I don't know if that is an intended feature or what, but there's just something about it that looks really quite cool, and you can sort of only really see it from certain angles as well. Again, I'm not sure if that's fully intentional or not, but it does look quite cool, and I'm a big fan. I mean, it looks pretty realistic to me. Anyways, enough staring into the blackness of the taxiways and looking at the lighting there. Let's have a quick look around here. So this is the domestic terminal that we are currently situated at. And also another thing I noticed, guys. So today we're streaming, obviously, like I said, in 2K today in 1440p. So it should be nice and crisp on the stream. I'm streaming at 18,000 kilobytes per second on the bit rate as well, so that's more than triple. In fact, that is exactly triple what I usually stream on, so it should look very, very good, and YouTube's the only platform that lets you do this. So one thing I've noticed is with my setup, with my PC setup, I've noticed my frame rate on average seems to be a lot better. It seems to be a lot smoother on 1440p. Now, I imagine that's probably something to do with the fact that my computer is a little bit CPU bound when I'm on 1080p, which is fair enough. So I'm not getting to use the full brunt of my 3080. So I guess that's what's happening here. And it seems like the sim just runs so much better on 2K. Excuse me, on my system. So I'm very, very pleased with that. As you can see, the frame rate is absolutely butter smooth around here. I tell a lie as I get some stutters. So here we are. We've got a little car park here. This is looking pretty interesting, actually. They've obviously gone to a lot of detail here, like by modelling in the grates on the side here. Some people would just put a flat texture here and wouldn't do inside, but you've got inside as well, which is absolutely insane. No cars in there, though. And then this is, like I said, this is the domestic terminal. Right here. Obviously got some signage outside. Some of it's a bit blurry, but this is landside, so I'm not usually that critical. And then coming down here, again, more signage. The night lighting looks so good. Then you've got the Air New Zealand sign up here as well, and domestic departures. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm not going to spend too much time on the land side because, well, I was going to say I'm not going to spend too much time, but I've just turned around and seen all this detail. You've got a park and ride type jobby there. Oh, this is actually the airport boundary here. There we go. There is actually a fence there. Okay, so this I thought was part of the land side, but it's not. Wow, look at the detail in here. This is nuts. But I like how they've sort of got a good balance between high-res textures and low-res textures. Air New Zealand Engineering Services. This is actually quite an extensive scenery, isn't it, really? I didn't think it was going to be... Got another New Zealand hangar here. Can't quite work out how you would get into that. It's probably round here, I guess. Triple 7 parked up here. Oh, guys, another thing I wanted to share with you. Well, I'm not going to share with you today. I'm planning another flight for another stream. Maybe even tomorrow. But I don't know if you guys have checked out the Essendon Fields Airport in Melbourne by Orbx. Now, that is an absolute next level scenery. That is just crazy. They've gone to so much detail on it. It's absolutely insane. It's definitely on par with this one, I think, and we're going to have a look at that one. Maybe tomorrow. Or maybe I'll wait until the Australia update comes out. Oh, look, we've got Shuts and Acer over there. Love to see it. And looks like we've got a cargo terminal over here. Nicely done. What kind of aircraft is this? This is 767. It certainly is. Oh, I don't know where to stop here. What have we got here? I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what any of these are, actually. Are these Embraers or something like that? Maybe? What is this? Air Center 1. Is this potentially executive type jobby? Maybe? It's a good thing it's nighttime, guys, isn't it? Because I'm not getting distracted by all the things that are in the darkness. So this is going to take us a little bit less time than what it would otherwise. Let me just check out this runway lighting here. This is definitely not normal. Or is it? I don't know. Okay, it looks normal from this angle, but... I don't know. Usually you can't see it from the side like that, can you? Anyway. Let's go check out the main terminal real quick. Let me just read some of the chat for one moment. Where am I from? I'm from the UK, north of England. It's very crystal if I could see the difference for sure. Good stuff. I'm glad you could see the difference. And you'll definitely be able to see the difference more when we're in the cockpit as well. one thing I noticed, the big difference between streaming in my previous settings to this settings is that all the instrumentation in the cockpit is much clearer. And as a viewer, sometimes, you know, you want to kind of look at that stuff, even, you know, if it's not necessarily something that's being focused on by the streamer or myself, for example. So yeah, I think it's going to be really, really nice, I think. But we're just going to do a few test streams for now and just see how my PC holds up with it. I do want to test one on VATSIM as well, because VATSIM tends to put my CPU, a lot of strain on my CPU. Crystal, thank you very much for that, Chris. I'm glad it looks good. Thanks, Land O'Lakes, for the feedback as well. Gritty man, thank you, dude. That's what you get with a €1,400 graphics card. Yeah. I suppose that is true. Yeah. Although having said that, my Microsoft Flight Simulator settings are not all cranked up to ultra. Fairly modest settings, actually. Wicked Toast, welcome to the chat. Good afternoon. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Welcome. My frame rate's been going to trash this past week. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, a 1070, obviously, it's a couple of generations old now. But that also doesn't necessarily explain why your frame rate's been going gradually down by the sounds of things. I know with Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's a bit of a weird one, really. I think we all notice performance fluctuations over time, and it's just a bit of a strange one. I only think Athens is more detailed. I haven't seen Athens yet, but it is on my list. Obviously, Fly Tampa do some amazing sceneries. I've got Copenhagen, very impressed with that. But yeah, Athens does look very good, Gritty Man. Crazy how there's some... yeah, I know it is, Martin. It is crazy that there are some freeware airports like this. Yeah, the thing is with freeware airports is that obviously the developers, they take much more time with the development process. So arguably, sometimes you end up with a better freeware product than a payware one, but obviously the sim's not really been out long enough yet to see anything quite like that, I don't think. The jetway's messed up on me, hasn't it? Yeah, look at that, the door's still open. Anyway, let's have a quick look inside. There is an interior here, but it's not too much going on there. It's just really black. I'm not sure if this is going to be upgraded or not in the future. It kind of looks like they wanted to do more, but they haven't yet. I know there is definitely some improvements coming to this airport. Like Flightbeam showed the VDGS working at this airport not long ago, so that's going to be added to this. And then I think he's also going to add some other custom stuff as well. I can't remember exactly what though. Alright, so coming over to the main sort of terminal apron area. Quick look at the control tower. Oh my lord. Oh my god. That is some insane detail. Flightbeam on the mouse pad. He's even gone in, look, he's even gone and put PBR textures on the phones. Look at that, how they're shining. That is incredible. And on the keyboard and everything, really. Wow, that is just crazy. This would be a good tower to do VATSIM controlling from, wouldn't it? Alright. Let's have a final quick look at the last few bits over here. Menzies workshop there. Nice bit of clutter here with the cargo pod type things. I'm not sure the actual name for them though. Very good ground textures. Very, very realistic looking. A little bit blurry. They've got some strangeness going on with the textures there, but I can accept that. We've got a FedEx. I forget what these are called actually. Is this an MD-11? I think it may well be. Oh, it's starting to get light. You can feel it. Sun's rising slowly. All right, and then just a final quick look around here. This is the area that I haven't looked around at all. So intrigued to see what's going on. A little bit of interior modeling, but not a great deal. Oh, man. Wow, this looks pretty incredible from outside. I can't lie. Maybe it could be a bit lighter inside. I'm not sure why it's got black walls and black ceilings everywhere. But it does look quite cool from outside, doesn't it? These jetways are incredible as well. And then this area as well, where you've got these smaller windows, that looks very cool. Alright, and then I think that is more or less everything. We've got another static over here, and then we've got, I think this is ASA, intercepting with a 777 here. Look how big the 777 is compared to the A320. That's crazy. Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's more to come on the inside there or not. The 777. Oh, this is actually a very large terminal. It's much bigger than I thought it was. We've got these red lights on top as well. Bit of Auckland signage. I love it when they do the signage properly. That is some good signage right there. We've got a hotel. Oh my god, how long is this going to take us? Right, I'm going to just go quickly along the rest of it. This is a pretty cool looking area of the airport, isn't it? With the dual jetways. Have they done the inside here as well? They have. Holy. Well, some of it. And I say they, I'm pretty sure it's just one guy that does the sceneries for Flightbeam. Pretty sure it's just one guy. Very, very impressive. Very impressive. Apologies, it's obviously not daytime. You can't quite see it in all its splendor, but as you can see, it is getting a bit brighter here. So by the time we depart, we should have a bit more to look at. Okay, so let's sort out this jetway situation. Oh, it's completely fluffed up, hasn't it? Alright, let's just try a bit of this then. I'm just going to go far away as we usually do. So where is Auckland from here then? I know this is to the south of the city, so I think that must be the city up this way. I have got Auckland landmarks pack, but I don't actually think we're going to see any of that really on the departure, but you can see some of it there. Also low key, guys. I don't know like how many of you guys play in 2K or above, or if you're playing in 1080p or what. Low key, the night lighting, I feel like it looks better. I feel like it looks better on a higher resolution. I might be totally off the mark on that, but as someone who's used this sim in 1080p pretty much since it came out, I can definitely see some difference there. Right. Okay, let's get things on the move here now then. I'll catch up with the chat and then we are gonna get moving with stuff. All right. Yeah, I agree, Martin. Yeah, people are absolutely doing the Lord's work with some of those free sceneries. Let me just get this so it's actually in a proper spot. It's quite an arduous task changing resolutions when you're a streamer. So I've had to move everything around. Right. Yeah, they also did the surrounding areas, not only the airport. Yeah, I did read that in the description. It's a shame we can't see too much of it just yet. Yeah, the 3-letter spammers. I'm not sure where they're coming from. They're obviously bots, but yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Button to skew by default is Y on your keyboard. Wicked toast, no problems at all, dude. I'm glad you got it sorted. Not much difference between high and ultra, no need to say all on ultra. Yeah, exactly, Gritty, I agree. Got a tsunami warning in West WA state, USA. I'm not sure what state that is, but wow, well, I hope everything is okay anyway. Seen some people from something like that while they are controlling aircraft. Yeah, I imagine people would do that, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? Very close to 2,000 subs. I remember when I had 700. Yeah, me too, dude. But yes, we are getting very close to 2,000 subs. Yeah, yeah. I think for the 2,000 sub special, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a 2,000 nautical mile flight. So it's going to be, you know, borderline long haul. So make sure you guys look out for that one pretty soon. I think I've got a route figured out. But it should be pretty cool nevertheless. There's a lot of statics. Can you get rid of them? Yes, apparently you can, according to Gritty. Thank you very much for that, dude. Yeah, I've not really looked at that myself yet, but yeah, looks like you can. Looks great, this, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah, it does look good, doesn't it, Will? I'm glad you can see the difference. Should look even better when it starts to get a bit brighter. I think, actually, when I'm reviewing the stream, I do go back and watch the streams to check for quality and sound and stuff like that. And I think, sort of, when it's quite dark like this, it is quite a good test for your bit rate and the encoder that you're using. Because there's not a lot of information for it to use, so it tends to lump a lot of pixels together, so it can end up giving, you know, quite bad results if you've got the bad settings. Anyways, let's start getting underway. You don't see the replay icon. You need to turn on developer mode first, and then it will appear. You can close developer mode afterwards. In fact, they recently changed it, so to do the replay, previously you had to turn on developer mode before you loaded into a flight, but you can actually just turn developer mode on like that and then turn it straight off again. And then the replay icon appears. So, yeah, pretty cool. Nice fix goes so far away it has to reload. Yeah, I think that's the reason why it happens in the first place, to be honest with you. Because when you sort of go away from something that's, you know, a dynamic object, I guess, when it unloads, it can cause some weirdness. Anyways, right, let's get underway. I'm sure you guys are sick of my babbling so far. So let's have a quick look. First of all, then we'll have a quick look at our flight plan and the charts and whatnot. And then we'll jump into the cockpit and start getting things all set up. So let's bring up the fuzz pad. Another advantage of me streaming on this resolution is that my secondary monitor that I'm using to show you guys stuff is 1080p. So the text size on it is much more legible, I think, because before I had my 1440p monitor with Sim Toolkit Pro on, all this text is quite small when you look at it on the stream. So hopefully you guys can see the difference there as well. So yeah, a few little nice benefits from doing it this way. But obviously we do have a lot of fans of the channel over on Facebook as well, and subscribers and things like that. So I'm not going to be fully changing to this format just yet, but it's definitely something I'm looking to move towards. Anyways, let's have a quick look at the OFP, and we'll start getting things set up after we've been through everything here. So flight number today is New Zealand 613, or Air New Zealand 613. Call sign would be just New Zealand 613. Obviously the date today, we're flying from Auckland to Queenstown. Oh my god, I've just moved stuff around. I didn't even realise you could do that. Auckland to Queenstown, and we're in a A320N. Registration Zulu Kilo November Hotel Alpha. Now, I'm not actually sure if New Zealand actually fly any A320neos in real life. I think they're all just CEOs. Does anyone have any info on that? But nevertheless, they fly a lot of A321neos. I couldn't see any A320neos, but I might be wrong. I didn't look that hard. So our time of departure, or off-block time, we scheduled for 10 past. That's obviously not going to happen. It's 10 past now. And the flight time itself is approximately 1 hour and 32 minutes. We're going to be using a cost index of 15, and the distance over ground is 619 nautical miles. We'll have a slight headwind of 5 knots on the way there, so nothing too major. We'll be cruising at flight level 380, and our alternate is going to be Christchurch Airport. I believe that is Christchurch anyway, on the Southern Island also. As we said, trip time is going to be about 1 hour 32. Fuel for the trip is 3.6 tons, and the block fuel we'll be looking for today is 6,891 kilograms, 6.8 tons. This is our alternate and the routing. Flight level 310 to the alternate. Routing for this trip is as follows. We're going to depart runway 05 right on the Brook to Quebec departure. I believe Capai is the transition. I may be wrong about that, but I believe that might be the transition there. Then we're going to go Yankee 320, Lakar, Yankee 628, Upnix, Yankee 266, Elruv, and then the Elruv 2 Alpha arrival into Queenstown. So that's our routing. The Elruv 2 Alpha is a very, very cool arrival into Queenstown. So looking forward to that. Runway 05. That's the classic super scenic arrival into Queenstown. So looking forward to doing that. Coming down a little bit further here. Obviously these timings are all off now because I'm a bit late. 157 passengers and a zero fuel weight, 58.8. And just finally coming down to our weather information. I'm lost. I've lost the weather. I think it's below here, right? Okay, there we go. So we've got a few SIGMETs in place. I'm not going to go through these all because it's a lot of shorthand, to be quite honest, and it's a little bit difficult to actually decode these, at least with my level of knowledge anyway. But obviously you've got a lot of coordinates here and various different weather things to be aware of, in for lack of a better word. However, this should show on our charts and maps, so we'll have a look at that momentarily. Right, so departure Meta 1600 Zulu, so it's about an hour old now, so we'll get a new one but before we start. But winds are at 130, 10 knots. Visibility is fine. Few clouds at 5,000, 16 degrees temperature. Obviously it's summer down here at the moment, and 11 degree dew point. QNH 1016, no significant changes. So looking pretty rosy for the departure. All right. No METAR available for Queenstown. So we will we'll see if we can get one before we depart, or when we're en route. Maybe they don't publish them throughout the night. Cool. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the maps here for the routing. So starting in the north, going to the south, pretty straightforward really, but it's mostly inland flying, so we're not going to fly along the coast or anything like that. So it should be pretty scenic. And then if we look at the... so this is the significant weather chart that is affecting our routes, and as you can see, there's not really anything of any concern. We have an area up here of... I believe this will be clear air turbulence, this number 1. I might be wrong about that. They usually have a bit of a line around it, but pretty sure that is actually no, number 1, and then it's got the double pointy thing, for lack of a better term. I think that's moderate turbulence area up there, not necessarily clear air turbulence. It might be, I'm not sure. And then we've got a jet stream at flight level 420. Again, not going to affect us whatsoever, so nothing to worry about there. And then we've got our en route charts, which are okay. I'm not going to go through those again, too much detail. So jumping over to Navigraph, again, you can see the route over the country and overall. So we're going to zoom in to our departure airport, Auckland, to begin with. Have a look at the airport charts. So departing 05 right, heading of 051. We're currently here at the domestic terminal, as you can see. So fairly simple in terms of taxiing here at Queenstown, not Queenstown, Auckland. We'll probably be going Charlie and Bravo Alpha, something like that, or onto Alpha and down. Something like that. We'll have a look at that in a bit more detail in just a moment. Obviously, there's some more charts to supplement this. This is obviously the main terminal area. And apologies, we're not going this way, are we? We're going this way to the runway. So, yeah, should be fairly straightforward. We've got this dotted line here that I haven't seen before. Let's just see. Aerodrome control service not provided for airside apron movements north and east of those areas designated by the dotted line. Okay, fair enough. Right, so we're here at stand 229, I believe. Can't actually see what stand we're at. We're round about here. I'm pretty sure we're stand 29. It's a very interesting layout for the terminal here, for the parking of the aircraft. In fact, that doesn't match the scenery, does it quite? Or does it? Let's have a look in a minute. So yeah, we'll probably push back, face to the east, taxi Bravo, and then come down Bravo. Yeah, probably just follow Bravo all the way down, then through Mike and Alpha, and then to Alpha 10. We'll probably take off Alpha 10, as this is a threshold here. I'm not sure if this is usable. In fact, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, and then there was a couple of sheets here regarding ground movement information. I was going to give these a quick scan through to see if there's anything interesting on here that we can have a look at, but I'm aware that we're running behind a bit here, so I might just skip this. But I'm just going to give it a quick scan. Non-standard taxiway markings, I think we'll be able to work that out. And then the other sheet was low vis, and then this is more about domestic apron, scheduled operations, and then you've got specific handling agencies for certain airlines by the looks of things. All right, cool. And then on to the departure itself. Runway 05 right, this is an RNAV departure. We're going on the Brock to Quebec, as you may remember. Max 200 knots until turn complete on this first turn here. Required altitude of 500 feet immediately after takeoff. Well, not immediately, but Maintain runway centerline to 500 feet. Mandatory right turn at 500. Direct to Brook. Max 200 knots. Cross Brook between 2,500 and 4,000. We're then going to use the one of these two transitions. Cap-I transition, which is this one right here. So Cap-I from Brook, track 190 to Cap-I. Fairly straightforward. So it's really quite a simple departure. Right turn after 500 feet, max 200 knots, and then out towards Brook. Maximum of 4,000 feet here, and then out to Cap-I. Pretty straightforwards. RNAV departure again. No issues. Interesting that they've got the title on there twice. That's not something you see on a lot of charts. Anyways, that is the pre-flight briefing. Let's jump back over into the flight deck now, and we'll have a look at stuff. Right. Brian, thank you very much for the sub on YouTube. Thank you very much, dude. I forget we're just solely on YouTube today, so I don't need to say that anymore. How big was the replay file yesterday? I'll tell you in just a second. I'm sorry we didn't load that up to begin with on this stream. I think I'll do it at the end, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to get going on this one. It's 200 megabytes, so not actually that bad. Anant, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Welcome. Great tip on the replay button. Yep. Yeah, that's something that they've only added since this latest hotfix, actually. That you can enable it like that. It wasn't possible until now. Chaddy, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Welcome. Which is better, Rex or enhanced Zinertek? They're very, very similar. Very similar. I've watched a YouTube video about them. There's a good comparison on YouTube. Feel free to go check that out. I personally use Zinertek, but that's only because that came out before Rex, and I've heard a lot of good things about Rex. Personally, I think if I didn't have Zinertek, I would just go for Rex. So that's what I'd say. They'll replace the A320neos in 2022. Okay, got you. Makes sense. Anything from the eruption near Tonga pulled through on live weather? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure if that would be something that would show, to be honest. I'm not sure if they're putting in that kind of data in the sim, but maybe they are. I'm not sure. Maybe it will just show us lots of clouds. Arrival, it's going to be the RNAV Zulu. RNAV Zulu into runway 05 at Queenstown. Anyway, guys, let's get a move on now. I'm very aware that that took me far longer to get things going than what I'd anticipated. But here we are on the flight deck. I'm just gonna fire through this stuff, guys, now, because I know you're waiting to see a bit of action. We'll get the batteries on, external power on as well. We'll get the nav lights on. Integral lights, crew supply, ground control for the cockpit voice recorder. We'll go ahead and get the no smoking signs to auto. Emergency lights in the armed position, and the ice indicator standby compass light on. We'll put the ADIRS to nav. I'm sure this on bat light used to light up, but it doesn't anymore. I'm not sure if that's how it... Oh, there we go. Now we've got on bat. Great stuff. Cool. So I'll turn the temperatures down a bit as we do. All right. Set the QNH. If I remember correctly, that was, well, I actually do not remember what it was, so I'm just going to press B. 1016. That was fairly close. We'll get another METAR in just a moment, so we'll get airports and we'll get constraints on. Bit more lighting. Right. Let's just grab an ATIS real quick, or a METAR, should I say. We'll grab a METAR and then carry on with our flows here. Alright, that's the METAR sent off. Coming down here, we'll get the integral lights on and the floodlights as well. Push this to VHF 1. Put transponder to auto. We'll put... Oh, what just happened there with the lighting? That was like, explain lighting change. We'll put a transponder to 2000. I'm not sure exactly what the IFR code is in New Zealand, so I'm just going to go for 2000. Arm the ground spoilers, and that's it. Let's see if we've got our company message. There we do. As you can see, the sun is coming up. It looks like the clouds just abruptly changed or something like that there. Yeah, it's gone clear now all of a sudden. There was loads of clouds there a minute ago. What's going on? That's very strange. I can't actually change the weather either because we're on live. We're on live players, so it doesn't let you change the weather. Right, let's grab the ATIS. Sorry, the METAR. I keep calling it ATIS. 1016, 13011. Okay, so this looks like it's basically the same weather as what we had on our flight plan, except this was taken half an hour later. Okay, fine. Let's go data and aircraft status. Nav data is current. Init request. That is all correct as we looked at on our flight plan. Departure from Auckland is going to be 05 right, and we're going to be on the Brock to Quebec via the Capai transition, and we'll insert that. We've got 2 Capais now, so we'll go ahead and just remove one, and then we'll remove the discontinuity as well. And we'll stick our arrival in as well, just for fuel calculations. So we're going to go for the RNAV 05 Zulu into Queenstown on the LRUV 2 Alpha, and Babu I think is going to be the transition we'll use, so let me just double check that here. Another thing I like about 1440p as well is the all the overlays and everything on the interface in the sim is much smaller, which is great. It gives you a lot more real estate to work with. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be using it at Babu, but let me just confirm. This is the RNAV F. I've not seen this one before. Is this a new one? 26th of November 2021, effective 2nd of December. Yeah, so maybe this is a brand new procedure. Or maybe not. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got a few that are runway unspecified. This is going to be a runway unspecified one, I imagine. And you've got the RNP Zulu, runway 05. This is the one I usually do. And this is the one I kind of wanted to do, to be honest with you. So we'll do that one. And the transition is going to be a Babu. You can see initial approach fix just here. And that is the one. As you can see, it is a very interesting looking arrival, but we'll look at that a little bit later on. Okay, so Ibabu is selected, and Anav 05 Zulu. Insert. Okay, that looks good. So we'll just double check a couple of things for our departure. So on our departure, remember we had climb to 500 feet and then make a right turn. We've got that in here. And then we've got a speed constraint also of 200 knots even. 200 knots until turn complete. So I'm going to put 200 in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put 200. Okay, 200 is already in there, so that's fine. That's all I wanted to check really. And then you've got the maximum altitude of 4,000. So that's fine. We'll go ahead and set 4,000 here. Great stuff. RadNav page, don't need to do anything on there. It's an RNAV departure. Then we'll go to init B, 0 fuel weight of 42.5 and 25. That's wrong. We haven't loaded our passengers yet, have we? There we go. So that's in. We can get our zero fuel weights. There we go. 58.8. Albert, we are going to Queenstown. Let's just check here real quick. Zero fuel weight, 58.8. Okay, that's correct. And then our block fuel, 68901. We do actually need to get some refueling done. So 68901. We'll start that. And then we'll come back to our OFP. And we'll go 6.8. Probably a bit preemptive. You should probably wait until the fuel's actually on board to get an exact figure there to do this page, because you can't actually redo it once it's done. But obviously this is a sim, so we don't need to worry too much about anything changing. -5 on the wind component for the trip, and the rest I'm going to leave default. And then we're going to go to our perf page. We're going to go for a flaps 1 takeoff. We're going to go flex of 66. Thrust reduction acceleration is fine at 1520, and then our V speeds are in 30, 31, and 35. Transition altitude of 13,000, something I didn't brief for us, but there it is. Transition altitude 13,000. Okay, cool. We are pretty much good to go then. Just waiting for our refueling to finish, really. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Tell you what we'll do while we're waiting is we shall... That's the baggage to disconnect and the catering to disconnect. And we'll get the pushback tug connected. Why not?
Cockpit to ground.
And we'll also go ahead and start the APU. This is probably slightly out of order here, but nevertheless, we're going for it. Looking very nice. All right, let's catch up with the chat here real quick.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed, and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
But yeah, Paul, on that, on the eruption, I'm not sure. It's probably something worth testing, to be honest, because probably
for pushback.
Some of the ash and things like that, it probably does show on, you know, the weather forecasting models and stuff like that. So I don't know whether they include that in or not, to be quite honest. I don't know what it would show as in the sim. It will probably just show as cloud, I guess. You're ordering Chinese at 6. We'll be ready for 6, I think. How do you look around outside your plane? So there's a few ways you can do that. You can either use the if you go to the camera menu, you can use the external camera, which is basically centered on your aircraft, and it looks around like that. Or you can use the showcase camera, which is basically a drone view that you can basically place it anywhere you want, basically. And then you can also use these fixed cameras as well, which are, again, fixed on the aircraft. But nevertheless, they are, yeah, still very nice views. All right. So refueling is more or less complete. DK, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Not on VATSIM today. No, not on VATSIM. Decided not to do it on VATSIM because, I mean, in New Zealand. It's let's see. I mean, it's about what 6 a.m. and I guess there's not many people online over in that part of the world at this time. Very rare to see VATSIM controllers on, at least when I'm, simming in this area. I guess their evening is obviously my early morning, so decided to just do it without VATSIM today, just for that reason. And we've got a few people flying along, which should be pretty cool. Okay, so APU is avail, and we're pretty much good to go here. Refueling is complete. We'll get the seatbelt signs on now. We'll turn the external power off as we're now on APU power. We'll turn the fuel pumps on. And we'll go ahead and do the before start checklist. Okay, before start checklist. Cockpit prep is complete. Fuel message is sent. Gear pins and covers are removed. Signs on and auto. ADIRs are in navs. Fuel quantity is 6.8 tons. Takeoff data is set. Bar ref is 1016. Set both sides. Before start checklist, above the line complete. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set the beacon light to on. We'll start the APU bleed, in fact. There we go, and we'll do the before start below the line. So below the line, windows and doors are closed. We'll lock the cockpit door as well. Thrust levers are idle. Parking brake is set, and that is before start checklist complete. Great stuff. Okay. Oh, we've got CB. Amazing. Got a few people actually. Very, very good. Alright, let's go ahead and push back. This scenery is absolutely amazing. So cool.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay, cleared for push start.
Oh no, what's happened?
Parking brake. Please release parking brake.
Oh my god, are you kidding me, bro?
Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, we're good now. I thought that wasn't going to work. Well, it's very difficult to see actually the joystick on this camera, isn't it, with being far away from the light now. There you go, that might be a bit better. Not sure why the chat's gone all funny. Hello, whoever that is talking in chat. Sorry, I can't quite read that that language. I think it's Chinese, right? It's English in the chat. I can't read that at all, unfortunately. So it looks like we're just doing a straight push here. Let's go and start the second engine. So engine mode selected to ignition start and engine 2 starter. So we'll stop the pushback there. We'll set the parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
So difficult for me
Holding
to
position.
see
waiting
stuff
for
on that
visual.
screen when it's
Thank
so
you
far
and
away.
goodbye.
What's happened to the chat here? quite see what's going on here. Sorry about this, guys. There we go. That looks pretty dope, actually. Nice. Okay, let's lock that so I don't fudge it up again. Okay, cool. So that is a good engine start on the engine 2. Let's go for engine start on number 1. The PTU coming to life. We're late. Yeah, we are, aren't we, dude? Sorry. Daniel V, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, no worries at all. No worries at all. If you're Japanese, it's just English in the chat because that's just what everybody speaks, and myself. Yeah, sorry about that, but that's. If you're asking me any questions or anything in Japanese, then I just simply can't read them. So that's why it's like that. Why does this game not have ATC towers like FSX? Not sure, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. Yeah. Obviously there are control towers. Yeah, exactly, Gritty Man. But yeah, I guess you can't necessarily. I mean, you can control air traffic, but you obviously have to be connected to VATSIM as a controller, etc. All right. 2 good engine starts. Both engines are avail. Let's put the engine mode selector back to norm. We'll run the timer here. Let's come up top, get the APU bleed off, and the APU master. Put our strobes to auto. Landing lights extended. We'll come down here and just check that we've got the correct pitch trim. So 24.4 is set. And we'll just check the rudder trim as well down here. It is at 0, so that's all good. We'll put a transponder on. And we'll do the after start checklist. Anti-ice is not required. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim is set to 24.4 and rudder trim is 0. After start checklist complete. Do a quick flight controls check and then I'll get out the way of you guys. So we've got full left, full right and neutral, full up, full down and neutral, full left on the rudder, full right and back to neutral. Okay, flight controls check complete. Alright, let's go. Stop holding these people up now. Alright, let's release the parking brake. We'll set flaps to 1+F. Hey, Chris. No wheelies today. Good stuff. Glad to hear it, dude. Always a relief when you don't have a wheelie on pushback. Alright, so we're going to taxi on down here, down Bravo, and then just take a left. So you can see we're on Bravo right here. Very nice taxiway signage. Alright. So let's do our before takeoff checklist anyway whilst we're on the move. So flight controls are checked, flight instruments are checked, briefing is confirmed, flap setting is config 1+F, V speeds are 3031 and 35. ATC or transponder is set. And ECAM memo, all we need to do is just let the cabin crew know. Give them a bing bong. And hit the takeoff config. Takeoff config normal, and the landing ECAM memo is takeoff no blue. Look at the state of this scenery though. So good. Alright, and we'll get a transponder, sorry, we'll get a TCAS, the TARA, predictive wind shear, and the weather radar on as well. Okay, so before takeoff, below the line, takeoff runway 05 right. Cabin crew is advised, TCAS is TARA, engine mode selector is norm, and the packs are on for this takeoff. So before takeoff, checklist is complete. We are going to bear right here on Bravo. Give Acer a wave as we go past. Still on Bravo here. Yeah, my frame rate's a little bit jittery now, but now that we've got the aircraft started, but still comparable at least to 1080p. What's running on my tablet? I've got a program called Touch Portal running, which I use for switching scenes and stuff on the stream and controlling the music and whatnot. Coolest airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator? Yeah, it's got to be one of them, 100%. Alright, so I'm going to enter the runway for an immediate takeoff. We've got, obviously, inbound sector is clear. Not quite at the runway just yet, but nearly there. Going to go all the way around. Alright, let's get the nose lights on and the runway turn-offs. I've completely forgot to turn those on for the taxi, but I think we'll survive. Nice visibility here today. I'm going to take a left turn here and then another right turn to continue on down to the runway. Beautiful. I haven't looked down here yet. Oh, this is pretty cool, isn't it? It looks like he's gone in with the rocks and the terraforming. Wow. Is that some trees in the water there? Not sure. Is that supposed to be like that? Okay, here we are. Looks like we've got a little bit of a turning area here, which is quite cool. Don't see that too often. Let's slow down a bit for this turn. Alright, cool, cool. Alright, here's the runway, 05 right, confirmed. So let's go ahead and turn the strobe lights on. We'll turn the landing lights on as well because we're going to go for a straight takeoff here. Alright. Okay, so this is the runway threshold as anticipated. You can actually use... you can use down there for the takeoff run by the looks of things. But we'll just take off from here. I don't think we've got too many issues. Let's have a look at this runway here. Flightbeam tend to do extremely good runways. Look at this. That is fantastic, isn't it? Those textures. Anyway, let's get back inside now, and we're going to go for a rolling takeoff here. So, before takeoff checklist is complete, we'll bring the throttles up to 50%, half forward on the side stick, and up to flex. Manflex 66 SRS runway auto thrust blue. Yeah, these runway textures are epic, aren't they? 100 knots. Definitely feel like the aircraft's trying to weather vane a bit. V1, rotate. Okay, so here we are, climb on runway heading to 500 feet. Positive rate, gear up. And we're going to take that right turn. Oh, we missed the nose wheel cam. I need to put that on a binding on my joystick, I keep forgetting. Okay, here's the acceleration altitude, lever climb, thrust climb, climb, nav, auto thrust. Okay, we're accelerating nicely. Okay, we're at the S speed. Let's bring the flaps and slats up. Flap 0 selected. And we're going to go for AP2. Okay, AP2. We're at 200 knots as per the turn there. However, we can actually increase the speed now. We've got alt start. We're leveling off here. Didn't really want to do that, but let's carry on. Our cruising flight level is 380, so we'll set 380 and we'll go for open climb. We'll also go for, we'll come down to the MCDU. I'm actually going to come in here and remove the speed constraint from this fix. That is now removed. 250 is magenta, and we've got thrust climb, climb. We did want open climb. So thrust climb, open climb, and 250 magenta now, so we accelerated to 250 knots. We're going to assume we've been cleared out to our cruising flight level by ATC. And we're past the turn, so there's no speed restriction anymore. And we're going to continue on up here. We've been cleared up to a flight level 12, so we'll go to standard pressure. And we'll go ahead and do the after takeoff checklist. So after takeoff, landing gear is up, flaps are retracted, packs are on, and bar off is set to standard. After takeoff checklist complete. Beautiful. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. And we're off. But you guys behind as well. Look how green it is down here. Holy. I love the Air New Zealand livery as well. So nice. Alright. Lighting is awesome at this time of day. Yeah, it certainly is, isn't it, Chris? Oh no, this one's mucked up as well. Yeah, it's super nice, isn't it? That's why, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this flight at this time, really. Absolutely stunning. Hayden, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat, or good evening rather. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Clemiton, or is it Clemiton, or is it just Clem? Clem, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. I remember you indeed. Hayden asks, where are the Kiwis in the grass skirts? Very good question, dude. Very good question. I think that's one for Flightbeam, I think. Some of the mountainous terrain already on the edge of the island here. So we've got New Zealand mesh from Orbx installed, so I'll be very keen to see how the terrain actually looks. Hayden's landing at 2200 Zulu. Oh wow, that's a long flight. Enjoy. The joys of doing a tour. It sounds like you're not enjoying it. Gonna try and find some cash in the couch for a 3080. Yeah, highly recommend it, dude. Highly recommend it. Oh, look at this. It looks like they've fixed the coastline. The coastline looks pretty, well, it's quite straight, isn't it? But you don't have any of the water going up the sides like you do in some other areas. Welcome to the land of the log white cloud. I've not heard that one before. Right, got you, dude, got you. Fair play, dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah, long hauls are, they're a long haul, aren't they? Yeah, make sure you get a few breaks in, go get some coffees and whatnot. Alright, we must be through 10,000, or well through 10,000 here, so we'll go ahead and get our nose lights and runway turn-off lights. As long with the landing lights off, we'll turn the seatbelt signs off. I was going to use self-loading cargo today, but I've completely forgotten to use it, so we're obviously not using that today now. So never mind. UTC arrival time, 7:30, so we've got about an hour and a half flight from now, 586 miles. And so yeah, it's actually a bit of a longer flight than what I normally do really on the channel here, isn't it? But it should be pretty nice. It should be pretty nice. Look at the sun reflecting off the wingtip there, or the winglet, sharklet. I don't know what they're called. I forget the names for all the specific ones. All right. 1300 hertz for a graphics card, and my 2080 Ti is not bad. Oh, dude, yeah. If you've got a 2080 Ti, there's not. I mean, 2080 Ti is still an extremely powerful graphics card, isn't it? So, yeah, I would be very hesitant to invest in a new one if that's what you've got. You know, I literally only have a 30 Ti because I was lucky enough to actually win it. That's literally the only reason. I would probably not buy one if it wasn't for that. And to be fair, I probably wouldn't be able to buy one due to the lack of stock. So, so yeah, I was fortunate enough to not have to pay for mine. So yeah, that's why I've got it. Otherwise, I would probably still be rocking my 2070 Super. Probably. No, mine's a 38, just a normal 3080, just a normal one. Love your stream, keep going like that. Thank you very much, Clem. Nice, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying. Not sure if you already planned it, but would be nice to see another detailed chart reading. Yeah, we'll have a look at the charts once we get en route a little bit here. Definitely look at the arrival into Queenstown in some detail. It is quite a complex and precise arrival. So yeah, that'd be quite a cool one to look at once we get underway here. Can you show the route? Yes, I certainly can. So here's the routing, basically just going south, straight down the middle. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, that's quite cool. I did not know that was a thing. Here's the routing. So we're going to come over the Northern Island on the west side, and then come in over the bay, and then in through the sort of northernmost point of the South Island, and then sort of down the northwest coastline roughly, and then into the middle, coming in towards Queenstown. So I think we're going to be flying over a lot of the main points of interest in this area, I think. It's a bit sad that the departure doesn't take us a little bit further over Queenstown, because I would have liked to have checked out the landmarks, but never mind. It was only a few pounds, so I think I can survive. All right. Let's see. You paid 2k for your 3090 Acer. Yeah, pricey affair, isn't it? Pricey affair. I looked out and got my 3080 for £700. Holy crap, dude! That is special. That is pretty special. Nicely done, dude. Never seen that. Is that new? What was that? The zoom button on the Navigraph charts? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I've seen those buttons there forever, but I've never clicked them before. Phoenix, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Thanks, Will. You should see Mount Cook at least. Yep. Are you from New Zealand, Hayden? Is that what you ask? $700 is a really good price, isn't it? On the other hand, that is what it was supposed to cost. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to cost, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been a very strange couple of years, hasn't it? For a lot of reasons, so many reasons. Yeah, zooming on Navigraph. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not a new thing, but I don't think I've ever really thought to click those buttons before. I thought they would just zoom the map, to be quite honest with you, not zoom the text. Oh, you are, Hayden. Fantastic. That's amazing, dude. New Zealand is definitely my top 2 places to go to in the world. I'm not sure. Don't ask me what my other top 2 is, but yeah, New Zealand is very, very high on the bucket list for me. But it's just getting everything together to actually be able to feasibly manage it. We're not showing on TCAS, are we? I'm not sure if multiplayer planes actually work with TCAS. I think it's just on VATSIM and stuff that works. But I might be wrong. Yeah, so I think it's just planes that just inject into the sim that show on TCAS, to be honest. I don't think multiplayer planes show, but yeah. I've never seen any multiplayer planes showing anyway. Alright, we are chilling. Got everyone behind us looking good. Great stuff. Shuts in his CRJ, climbing like a beast. When you was 18, you did a trip around Queenstown for 4 weeks. That sounds absolutely epic, dude. That sounds so cool. Cruise altitude is 380. How's my health? Back to what it was before Corona. I've got a bit of a dry sort of cough and throat, and I'm not sleeping that well at the moment, and I'm waking up with a lot of headaches. But but I had that before Corona, so yeah, I think I'm probably back to normal. I think the cough might be somewhat related, but I don't know, to be honest, but I feel fine now. I feel fine. Yeah, thank you for asking. I want to get to cruise so I can set my throttle and order / pick up my Chinese. Fair play, dude. Fair play. There's so much to see and do. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, I would just be happy with trekking in the mountains, full stop. You know, I've done a fair bit of hiking in the mountains in the UK. So yeah. I mean, New Zealand does remind me of the UK a lot, but on steroids in terms of the terrain and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd love to just go for a wander. Do I have any tips for a Microsoft Flight Simulator starter? Let's see. I did do a video actually with some sort of tips for newer players. But yeah, I mean, in terms of tips, I don't know really. I mean, personally, I would recommend, if you're new to flight sim and you're new to aviation, I would recommend doing the tutorial flights. Do them all, every single one. Do them twice or 3 times. That's what I did when I first started, and it really kind of put me in the right direction, if you know what I mean. So I really would recommend those. That's number 1. Number 2 is don't worry about your frame rate too much. Don't worry about it too much, the frame rate, because it's gonna vary quite a lot. Anything between 30 and 60 is good. I would recommend investing in a joystick of some description. Definitely going to be better than a Xbox controller. I'll come back to that. I'll try and think of some more tips and come back to you. Oh, you live in Sweden now, Hayden? Amazing, dude. From one beautiful country to another. Love to see it. Thank you, Gritty. Yeah, I'm doing alright now. I'll get back to normal. Chris Shortworth, press the expedite button. I think Chris is in a CRJ, so I don't think they don't have an expedite, unfortunately. If you do that, please drop me one favor. Read a shitload. Yeah, of course, dude. I'm not going to go up into the mountains without knowing what I'm doing, or with a guide, to be honest. One of the two. Who is asking? I don't see that question. Oh, right. Okay. That's weird. It should be there. Anyway, Clem was asking. But yeah, thank you very much, Gritty. Yeah, I do try and share a lot of tips and try and do the streams in somewhat of a tutorial format to a certain degree. So yeah, if you watch the streams, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you will also learn something here as well. Look at that mountain down there. Which mountain is that, Hayden? You guys see my mouse? There it is. There. The turbo button. I love it, Gritty. I mean, I think the CRJ does have something of roughly of the equivalent, but well, yeah. Tourist dial up because weather changes heaps, and they are not mountains in the south. They are Alp, and it's very dangerous. Yeah. Well, it's definitely classed as an alpine area, isn't it? I have been hiking in the Alps myself, not in winter though, but obviously I don't think I'd be planning on hiking around in foreign territory in the winter anyway. I'm not really that well trained in winter walking, so anyway, yeah, I have been walking in the Alps in the summer before, and yeah, very aware of the dangers of mountainous walks and things like that. Very, very aware. In fact, a fun story I'll tell you guys is I went up on one of the first mountainous hike I ever did actually was up on Scafell Pike, which is the highest mountain in England. Not in the UK, but in England. And yeah, that was the first hike I really did, like proper hike, I suppose you could say, up a mountain. And me and my partner who I was with at the time, we planned it out quite well. We looked at loads of pictures, planned it out really well, and we got there and the weather was pretty bad, and the cloud base was quite low, but we set off anyway, and we just thought, okay, once we get to the cloud bottom, it's quite busy, so you know we're not going to get lost on the way up or anything like that. We obviously had maps and compasses and everything as well, and we got up there to the cloud base, and there was quite a few groups going up still to the top, so we thought, all right, we'll join on with these groups then, and we'll follow them up to the top, and yeah, nice and easy then. Because obviously, you know, there are people out there that know what they're doing. So yeah, we followed them up to the top, and we got to the top, and we're like feeling quite confident. We got to the top of the highest mountain in England in about 50 meters visibility, and then this is where it starts to get a bit interesting. So we started on the way down, and the way down is supposed to be a lot easier than the way up in terms of pathfinding, but what happened is, although we had this all planned out, we knew what we were doing, we knew where we were going, we had a map and compass. For some reason, and somehow we missed, there's basically a path that goes straight down the mountain, down the other side from what we came up, and then there's a path that turns off that, and then basically goes back on yourself. And we somehow missed this little junction. We totally missed it, and we got about halfway down the mountain, and then we realized we're in the wrong place. So we ended up, it was starting to get dark at that point, so we actually walked all the way down to the bottom of the mountain. So effectively what we'd done is we'd gone up the mountain on one side, gone all the way up to the top, and then down completely the opposite side. And as you can imagine, it's a mountainous area, so once you get down the other side, you know, there's not a ton of roads or anything where you can just easily drive back to where you started. So our only option, and by the way, it was absolutely pissing it down the whole way back, and we were walking in the clouds, so we were absolutely drenched, like literally through layers and layers, all the way down to the skin, absolutely drenched. And we got down to the other side, and we ended up just getting a taxi back from this pub back to our campsite, and the taxi was 100 British pounds. Obviously we got back safe, everything was fine, no injuries, you know, it wasn't dangerous what we did, but we just went the wrong path, that's all. And we had to pay £100 for a taxi to get back, so that's a funny story. I've never done that again. I've since done that mountain 3 more times, and you'll be pleased to know I've never made that mistake again. Hayden says, show me. What do you want me to show you? My computer has a frame rate of an 80s computer and an alright quality joystick. Okay, well you're on for, you know, somewhat of a winner then. Oh, it's the volcano. Right, got you. Mount Taranaki. Okay, got you. Yeah, I've seen a lot of really cool photos of Mount Taranaki. Asa does lots of hiking, but he doesn't walk down. Love it, mate. Love it. I need to go on one of these hikes for you, dude. So basically you were lost. Yeah, basically, yeah. We were lost. Yeah, we got lost. It was, yeah, it's a good story though. I quite like it. Quite funny. Echo, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. We're flying the A320neo, the A32NX version. Well, at least you have a nice story for the rest of your life. Yeah, exactly, Gritty, exactly. But yeah, Echo, flying A320neo in New Zealand colours. Very nice. It looks so good on this display. I can't lie, guys. It's so good playing in 1440p. Like, I don't know if you guys can really see that, have noticed yet, but if you look at the displays and things like that, this should be a lot clearer to you guys. There was also an update where they actually changed some stuff on the PFD recently. Very subtle, but they've slightly updated it. I think they made the text a little bit thinner, and then they also added a rounded end to this vertical speed indicator. I think they changed a couple of other things as well, but I couldn't tell you what. All right. Where are we going? We're going to Queenstown in New Zealand. We've set off, we've just departed. Well, I say we've just departed, we're actually in the cruise now. But we departed from Auckland, Flightbeam Auckland, and we're heading down south to ini builds Queenstown. Really looking forward to this. looking forward to the approach. Should be pretty cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for liking the stream anyway. Really appreciate that. Does really help out the channel when you do so. Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Do I like Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane? I like them both, to be honest with you. They're both, you know, they've both got their own advantages, if you like. But yeah, I wouldn't really choose one over the other. They're both very good. I've got some really good planes in X-Plane as well that, you know, we've only really got a couple of airliners that are really worth flying in Microsoft Flight Sim, or at least jet airliners. Thomas Rass been hiking through northern Sweden. Nice, dude. Nice. I would love to go to Sweden and Norway, to be honest. Do I like X-Plane? I've just answered that, dude. Want to go and fly fish? Nice, dude. Nice, dude. I've never been fishing in my life ever, to be honest. For X-Plane, yes, I like the effect and the 737. Yeah, fair play, dude. I mean, X-Plane is a very good simulator. Very good. There's a lot of very good aircraft in there. Zebo, Beanie Builds, Tolis. So much good stuff to get. Ooh. Excuse me. So much good stuff. And then just recently, the Challenger that was just released. And guys, if you've not seen that yet already, you really need to go and check that out if you're into flight sim, because that is literally, it is the most detailed and in-depth aircraft that has ever been released for flight sim. It's just incredible. I was watching V1 Simulations stream that last night, and it's just absolutely insane, the level of detail on it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm not talking about modeling and texturing or systems either. It has all of that stuff done to a very high standard, but it also has simulation of everything, basically. You know, every component is simulated in some way or another, and there's so much going on under the hood there that is just absolutely insane. And like, if you ever wanted to, you know, people talk about study level add-ons and things like that. That is literally a study level add-on. You know, you could literally, you could probably study how to fly the plane for real, and you know, in a way that would be similar to how you would be taught on the typewriter. I imagine it is that in depth. Very cool thing. Highly recommend checking that out for X-Plane. Rocky Jet, welcome to the chat, dude. Really enjoys the thumbnails. Fair play, dude. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying them. I do enjoy making them myself as well. They're very they're a little bit tongue-in-cheek, you know. They're not supposed to be too serious, but yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of Just Planes. You know, I watch a lot of these cockpit videos on YouTube, and you could probably liken a flight sim stream to that in some respects. So I thought, oh, why not give that a try? I've not seen anyone doing that before, so yeah. For you, which is easier to control, Airbus or Boeing? Airbus all the way. Yeah. Boeing is a bit more challenging, just because it does less for you. You know, the Airbus is going to auto trim and do all that stuff for when you're flying manually. So it's I think it's fairly easy aircraft to fly personally. Some people might not agree, but obviously it helps if you know why it's doing what and all that stuff. So Yeah, there's obviously a few considerations, but I feel like the Airbus are a bit easier to control just because they do the auto trimming. Alright, I can see a little sliver of an island out the window. Let's have a look. What's that down there? Oh, it's a sand spit. Oh, okay, so we've reached the South Island now. I was just thinking it was going to be a tiny little island or something, but we're here. We're here on the southern island already. Mountains looking pretty decent, actually. They don't look too rounded. Fly fishing is so relaxing often. No mobile connections. Yeah, it sounds good, dude. What is this track? Is this really on this playlist? Oh, so it is. Random. Is it coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator as well? I have no idea, Gritty Man, to be honest with you. And I would hazard a guess that if it does, it won't be for a long time. I imagine it took them quite some time to get it to where it is. If I explain. Have a good stream. Got to go. My phone is at 1%. I'll come back to sub later. No worries at all, dude. Yeah, well, appreciate that. Thank you very much for dropping by. I'll catch you again soon. How long ago did they start with that project? I'm not sure, Gritty Man. I think it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Something like that. Do I fly in real life? No, I don't. I have flown in real life, but I don't do it regularly, no. Am I knowledgeable on the 737 as well? Well, I like to think I know the procedures. I don't know as much about the back end on the 737 as I do on the Airbus, for example, but I do know how to operate it in a fairly realistic manner. I think we've flown the Zebo on X-Plane quite a few times, and we've got on just fine there. But yeah, really looking forward to the PNDG 737. That should be really, really cool. And I'm definitely going to be taking a bit of a deep dive into the 737 when that does release. So yeah, we should hopefully have some pretty good streams with that once it releases. Home. Amazing, dude. Is this where you're originally from then, Hayden? The Southern Island? Do I play RFS? I assume that's Real Flight Simulator. No, I don't. No, I only use X-Plane and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right, there was another playlist I wanted to check out today, but I can't actually remember what it was called now. Let me see if I can find this. Look at those mountains, though. That's looking pretty impressive. Oh, that's right. I mucked up my cameras earlier on. Hang on, let me just fix this. There we go. I like this camera as well because you can go on this view and then just sink down a bit, and then you get this beautiful just top down view. Look how cool that looks. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I mean, I don't think it's that much different to the default, the mountains, but pretty good, I think. Pretty nice looking. I think this was the soundtrack I was looking for right here. It's a little bit more like a little bit more energy to it, if I remember correctly. Hopefully it doesn't give me a copyright strike either, because it's a soundtrack for a game. This is quite different to what we had on before, isn't it? I think the next track is a bit more chilled. Can't wait for some future streams with PMDG 737. Yeah, neither can I, dude. Neither can I. I'm so hyped for that plane. I can't even put words behind it. I'm really looking forward to the Phoenix A320 as well. Both of those are just going to be absolute, just perfect. So good. NZCH, so you're from is that Christchurch, right? When is the 737 coming to Microsoft? Not sure yet. Not sure. Possibly sometime soon. Hopefully. I would say within the next couple of months, I think, is reasonable. Will you have to buy it? Yes, it will be payware, yeah. But no, it won't be free. It won't be free. Those are just foothills to what is coming. Yeah, they certainly are, aren't they? What football club do I support? I don't really follow football, to be honest with you. But I am from near Leeds, and I was born in Leeds, so I would probably say either Leeds or Sheffield Wednesday, because that's what my dad supports as well. But I don't really follow football. How much? I don't know yet. Probably be around. Could be somewhere around £70, £80, something like that. Got you, Hayden. So I'll fly past it on the spine. This is Christchurch right here, isn't it? So is this area called the spine? Is that what you call the spine right here? Yeah, that is Christchurch right there. Making good progress here, aren't we, guys? Very good progress. Sounds like music from PUBG or something. Yeah, it's not a PUBG soundtrack. It's actually from a game called Helltaker. It's alright. It's not quite what I was hoping for. Maybe more like intro music. This is quite a cool track though. Alejandro, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. You support Man U, do you? Fair play. Like I say, I don't really follow football, but yeah. League or the better sort, or the better sport. Yeah, we're talking about, I think, talking about English league football here. Yep, that's the Alps. Got you. Right. Very nice, very nice. I'm in New Zealand, play some Crowded House, so I can't play I can't play copyrighted music because that's gonna have that. Basically, YouTube will force me to mute my stream if I want to ever monetize it. So I don't monetize my streams generally, but I just don't want to upset anyone for too many streams. Sometimes we play copyrighted music, like on New Year's, but try to avoid it generally. Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Don't boo me though, boo the copyright people. Oh, the first video you clicked has this tune. So I've never played the game. I don't really know what it's all about. It might be a rubbish game. I'm not sure, but apparently I heard that it had a fairly decent soundtrack. Oh, do I play Fortnite? Sorry, I missed your question. No, I don't. No, not anymore. No. I used to play it back in the day. I used to be quite good at it, but not anymore. Yeah, I haven't played that for a very long time. I played it when it first released. Whoa, look at that! That's so cool. I'm not sure what it's done with the camera here. It's put me on a runway here, but look at that. You can see our contrail going through the sky. That looks so cool, doesn't it? And then we've got Shuts behind us, CB and Acer. Unfortunately, I can't see their contrails, but that is cool, isn't it? The framing of that looks cool as well, doesn't it? How we've got the mountains down here, and then the cloud, and then the cloud here, and it just kind of frames the it. That's pretty cool. What is in my hand? An Xbox controller. Look at that. We bring the exposure down a bit as well. There we go. Oh no, the smoke. Oh, it's just an e-cig, a vape jobby. How did I do that, Gritty? You basically, if you switch to drone mode, I think I've explained this previously, but let me just bring it up here. So if you use the keybind, I can't remember the exact name of it, that's why I'm looking it up. So if you use the keybind, here we go, camera mode switches. Camera mode switches here. If you use the cockpit / external view mode, if you use that toggle when you are in the drone camera, so when you're on showcase mode, and then you use that keybind, that's going to cycle you through 3 different views. It's going to cycle you through this one, which is the normal drone camera. It will cycle you to your fixed cameras, so you can move between all the fixed cameras. and then it's going to also do a third one, which it's not doing now, of course. Let me try with my controller. Maybe it's a controller thing. Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing it now, but since the world update, not the world update, since the Game of the Year update, for some reason there's this third camera, this third mystery camera that I haven't really worked out what it is yet, but it always seems to be on a runway, and for some reason I can't make it happen again now. That's a bit weird, but yeah, give it a try. Echo, no worries at all, dude. Take it easy. Have a fantastic evening. Yeah, no worries at all, Hayden. No worries at all. Right, we are getting relatively close. 280 miles to go. So let's have a look at our approach briefing then. Let's do that. Now, I'm aware, guys, I know sometimes what I'll try and do when I'm flying on this side is I'll try and put the camera over here on the right hand side, but because this is a new setup, unfortunately I've not quite got that working properly yet. In fact, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's not right, is it? I tell you what I'll do is I'll try and do that. I'll try and do that real quick. Should only take a second, hopefully. So delete this. Delete this. And then we'll delete this as well. And then we'll do a bit of that. Hey, that's not bad. And then there we go. And then we'll have to do it for when we land as well. So let me just do that one real quick. Right, so that's that, and then we'll group it, move it over here, like so, and then we'll ungroup it all. And we'll take this one, and we'll go like this. Do a bit of that. Look how slow that's moving across. Whee! And we've run out of music. We'll carry on with the briefing once I've sorted this out. Sorry, guys. What do you guys think to this new layout anyway? What do you guys think? I've done a few things. One of them that might be the most obvious is that the camera is now completely uncropped, so it's a bit of a wider view, which I kind of like actually. Obviously it takes up more room horizontally, but I think it's taking up maybe a little bit less room vertically, but I don't know. I just think it looks quite nice with that wide aspect. It looks a bit more roomy, a little bit less cramped. Gives a bit more room for the chat as well. And then everything else is more or less the same. I've just had to kind of mess around with the text size for the new resolution. And I think what I'll do is I'll just nudge it across a little bit further. Right. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. That was probably worth doing, though, I think. Okay, so let's have a look at our arrival then. And before we do so, let's just put a bit of music on. Right, okay, so looking at our arrival then, we haven't got too far to run, so I'm going to do this. No, we should be alright. Okay, so looking at our star, we're going to... I can't speak all of a sudden. Clem, just a question, do you have Air France livery aircrafts? Because I'm French. Yes, on PC there is definitely a lot of Air France liveries available, but I'm not sure about Xbox. Okay, so looking at the arrival then. So this is the RNAV arrival for runway 05, LRUV 2 Alpha arrival, which is going to take us from LRUV, track 217 to Ekvox, track 228 to Kaslu, maximum flight level 170, minimum 160. There's a lot of altitude constraints on this arrival, as you'll come to see in a moment, so we're going to have to just check that those are all properly in the box. So that, like I said, Kaslu between 160 and 170. That is by ATC, but we're just going to assume that is what's required in this instance. Transition flight level is 150 as well, so we'll be passing through the transition level after Kaslu, descending to Magba, or Mabga, 13,000 or above, 12,000 or above at Gospa, and then down to Ibabu, which is where we'll transition on to the final approach. Between 10,000 and 12,000 feet, so still very high on the initial approach fix here. But all par for the course here in Queenstown. So, from Ibabu, we're going to transition to the RNP Zulu approach. That's what this is, Queenstown, RNAV RNP Zulu, runway 05. Now, an RNP is different from a normal RNAV approach because... Oh, I've actually just noticed this is actually the wrong one. So this is only for Cat B aircraft. So you can see in the top right here, Cat B. And you can also check here on the minimums. Cat B has got a minimum here of 5 kilometers, which is interesting. Actually, that's not the minimum, is it? That's the RVR, I think. And then the minimum is here. But nevertheless, it is just for Cat B aircraft. So this is not really the one we should be doing. We should be doing probably this one, the one that was originally suggested by Navigraph. So there we go. We've got Cat A, B, and C, RNAV, Foxtrot. Okay, let's just check if that's actually available in the sim. Oh, look at this now. Look at this now. Looking very nice. Alright, so let's have a look and see if that is actually available. Oh, we do have it available. Okay, great stuff. It's just not tied to any kind of runway for whatever reason. Okay, so RNAV Foxtrot we could do. Let's just see if there's any other ones actually then. So, I've got the Golf as well, which we could do, but that's not really from the right direction. That one we don't want to do either. Wrong runway. And I suppose you could do that one, but we are going to stick with the Foxtrot. There is also this one, which is a circuit procedure, which looks very complicated to look at, but it's just because of all these flags. I'm pretty sure, let's see, circuit procedure, all IFR aircraft and VFR greater than 12,566 pounds. Yeah. Interesting. Anyways, we're going to do the Foxtrot then. It's very similar. It's fairly similar to the RMP. Very similar, however, slightly different. It doesn't take you quite as wide over the mountains here. So we're going to come in at Ibabu between 12 and 10,000, and then we're basically just going to follow these RNAV fixes. Now, the flybywire A32NX, I don't believe it can do the final lap mode required for an RNAV approach. So what we'll probably have to do is we may have to intervene with track FPA mode, but we'll come back to that. So QN259 down to Let Po. Now Let Po is at the point where we could arm final lap. I'm going to try it and see if it works, but I don't think it will do. Max 185 knots at this point. And then we're going to descend on down to Gusas and then down to QN581, which is an overfly waypoint. We have to fly over that fix and then over to the runway. After QN581, that is going to be manual flight, visual flight. As you can see here, if you look on the chart very closely, you can see it's got this arrow with a sort of a sculpted arrowhead on it. Now, it's not very easy to see because of it's only a very short arrow, but that arrow on a Jepson chart indicates a visual segment. So you can see here, this solid line coming down, we can use final lap mode. Not that it will work, probably, but this arrow afterwards indicates a visual segment. Minimums is 4,120 feet for all categories of aircraft. And then the go-around procedure, which hopefully we won't have to fly because I'm not sure the A32NX can do an RNAV go-around. I think it can only do a go-around in heading mode at the moment. So if we do have to go around, it will just be a case of using heading mode and visually flying ourselves out of the valley. Final approach course is 034. This is an RNAV approach, however, so we don't have to tune anything on the radios. Airport elevation is 1,171 feet. And as we said earlier, transition altitude of, transition level of flight level 150. And that should do it. Once we arrive in Queenstown, let's have a quick look here. So we've got arrival and departure procedures here. Let's have just a quick scan. Okay, so it's just procedures to coordinate with the airports. Not really relevant for us as we're not on VATSIM or anything. Caution, Queenstown Aerodrome surrounded by mountainous terrain. Visual illusions on approach to runway 23. That doesn't apply for us. So that's that. So we're going to come in runway 05. And then we'll probably exit at Alpha 5 here. And then just basically taxi on down this way. Very narrow taxiways at Queenstown. I'm not sure if you would even use these taxiways if you're an airliner. You might actually just turn around on the runway and taxi and backtrack to the apron, but we'll see. So yeah, runway 05. Oh, we've got here all aircraft codes C and above must use the turning nodes at 0523 thresholds for turning. There you go. So I imagine that's what this is here. Caution Sports Field Event Centre. We'll have to look out for that in the scenery, see if it's there. So, yeah, we are basically going to just turn around. Let's see, taxiway ABC, Yankee, limited to aircraft, maximum takeoff weight of, okay. Okay, so we can't, as I thought, we can't use these taxiways if we're a big Airbus like this. We've got to backtrack on the runway and come back in via Alpha 3 or Alpha 4 by the looks of things. I'm only guessing Alpha 3 or Alpha 4 because they are visually drawn bigger on the diagram, so that's what I would assume. So yeah, that is about it really for the approach. We're going to come in and park on one of these stands here on the main apron. Okay, let's see if we can get that tuned in then and get it set up properly. So it was the Arnav Foxtrot. Yes, we're doing the Arnav Foxtrot ACER, yeah. Sorry for giving you the wrong one earlier. Oh no, this is a problem. I think this is a Microsoft Flight Simulator issue. It's it doesn't let me have a star if we're going to fly that Foxtrot arrival, which is a bit weird. Now then, let's have a quick look on the chart again. Okay. All right. I tell you what we'll do is we'll just not we won't do the star. We'll just put in the arrival. Because as you can see here, if you look on the ND, it's not actually going to change the routing a terribly large amount. If we actually come to our flight plan page and just scroll down like so. So it's showing that it's not actually changing it whatsoever, but I don't believe that for a second. Let's try it. We'll go insert. Huh. That's interesting. It seems to have kept in the star waypoints, which is good. But there you go. Sorted. Alright, so let's get a METAR then for our arrival destination. So weather request. And we'll go ahead and I'm actually going to get rid of that one. And get rid of that one. Send that off. Let's have a quick look outside. Oh, baby. Wow. Yeah, I am thinking the Orbx mesh is doing some good stuff here. I think it's been a while since I've flown over New Zealand, but it's looking pretty good, isn't it, guys? It's looking pretty special. All right, let's see how we're doing for descent. So we're at 148 miles to go, so we're probably coming up on our descent pretty soon. $120 miles to descend we're going to need. Obviously, we do have some constraints on the way, so that's going to slow our descent down. So, 121 miles. 20 miles to go until we start our descent. Company message. Oh, no METAR available. Surely not. No. I guess you can't get it through the normal sources. Interesting. Alright, I'm just going to do a Google. So I found a METAR. I'm not sure why this one is not. This was literally the first result on Google. Anyway, we've got a METAR. Clear skies. I know. No, okay, that might not be it. Let me just cross-check that. Alright, we've only got a TAF by the looks of things. Winds 5 knots from the northeast. We're just going to use that. I think that's our best option. We could try use the in-game ATIS. Let's try that. And of course it's not showing up in the list as per usual. Right. Obviously we don't have any QNH reading on the TAF. No temperature on there either. I'm gonna have to put this in when I get a bit closer, I think. We'll try to get the ATIS from the actual in-sim ATC. Alright, so the minimums we want to put in then are 1420. Alright, and we'll make sure everything else is in as well. So I'm going to try and make it so you guys can see the MCDU as well. In fact, to tell you what I'll do is I'll do this. And then we can come down a bit further. There we go. The new wide camera is getting in the way a little bit there. Great. Okay, so let's go to flight plan then. 121 miles. We'll start our descent. I'm just going to put in 12,000 and go to manage descent. Right. So let's check our arrival then. So it seems to have kept the waypoints from the SID, sorry, from the star. So I'll check that through. So at Castleu we want to be at between 160 and 170. That's in. No worries there. Then to Mabga plus 13,000, that's in and correct. Gosper 12,000 or above, that's in as well. And oh dear, we've got some weirdness going on here actually. Let's check this out. It doesn't seem to have drawn any weirdness, but it seems like there is some. So, actually, no. Is it just? No, we're good. Actually, we're good. I think it might have tracked on a waypoint there, so it went back to the top of the list. Anyway, Gosper 12,000 or above. That's in. Gosper 12,000 or above, and then a Babu 10 to 12,000. That's in. Okay, great stuff. Okay, so on to the RNAV arrival. This is very important to get it correct. So we're going to go to, we'll check. QN529 does not have a specific altitude. However, these two legs are both a minimum of 8,600 feet. Letbo is 8,600 feet at 185 knots. So let's put that in, or make sure it's in at least. So we've got 185 in there already, and plus 8,600. Okay, great stuff. So that is all actually in there and looking good. We'll just double check GooseAss, although that shouldn't necessarily be something we need to pay too much attention to, but that is also in and looking good. Okay, great stuff. So I'm happy with that, and we are now on the descent. So we've got thrust idle, Des, and Alt Magenta, flight level 160 Magenta. Because we're using a managed descent, it is going to pay attention to the altitude constraints that we've got here on the arrival. Beautiful. Oh my god, this is so epic. Alright, let's catch up with some chat then. Let's see. Oh, you might be a bit close now. Fair enough, dude. No worries. Let's see. Thank you very much for that feedback there, Gritty. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you. So we're doing RNAV Foxtrot. We are indeed, yeah. Asa, sorry for the mess about there. That's my bad for not checking. Mariner, yo, good afternoon, brother. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah, how are you doing? Glacier I'm flying over now looks amazing. Yeah, I think I missed that. That must have been back over here, right? Yeah, I must have missed that one, unfortunately. too busy staring at the screens. Oh, look at that! My contrail just ended. Very good, very good. I'm a little late, yeah, a little bit late, Mariner, but no worries, no worries. You're in time for the arrival, so that's the best part, in my opinion. Chris, sounds like you've got your hands full there, mate. Sounds like you've got your hands full. Oh no, this one's messed up as well. What's the emergency rule in aviation? Mask first, related to food, in my honest opinion. Mask first, related to air food. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where is that a question, Gritty, or I'm not sure what that question is there. TAF, yep, we've got that TAF. Thank you very much, though, Gritty. New Zealand only has like 3 public METAR stations. Oh, really? I did not know that, actually. I did not know that. Ah, so I guess you've got to rely on the 80s then. Fair enough. That was for Chris. Oh, got you, dude. Got you, dude. All right, let's see how we're doing anyway. So we've got 80 miles to run. We are right on profile. Really? 80 times 3, 240. We're at flight level 228. We should be at flight level 240. So we're looking good. We're a little bit low, but that's not an issue, really. Not an issue. This is real epic, isn't it? I love flying through New Zealand. It's so, so beautiful. The mountains are just absolutely incredible. Like, don't get me wrong, flying in the Himalaya like we did the other day, pretty epic. Love it, but there's just something about the mountains in New Zealand that just looks so, so cool. Also, one thing that I just noticed that I've never noticed before is look at this attention to detail here. So you see this little hole here? This is actually supposed to be a pen pot on the Airbus, just where you put your pens. And they've got like these little marks here on the textures where people have pulled the pens out and it's marked the edge. Never actually noticed that one before. That's quite cool. And you've got it here as well. Oh, you fell asleep, Paul. Fair play. No worries, dude. Well, I'm glad the flight's nice and relaxing for you in the back. Well, you've woken up at by far the best part anyway, on the approach here into Queenstown. Yeah, looking very, very nice, isn't it? Yes, Mariner. Yeah, that's the one, dude. That's the one. Well, we're not doing that exact approach, but it's very similar. Very similar. We almost just did that approach, but... So this is the one for the airliners, basically. And then I think this is the one we did, wasn't it? The big curly one. With these super smooth lines. Love it. Just going to get the chart open on my other screen so I don't mess this up. Amazing scenery. It is, isn't it, dude? It is. Alright, so we've got altitude constraints. So at Castley, we've got to be above flight level 160 and below 170. So we've made that constraint. I'll zoom this in a bit so you guys can see the constraints on the ND here. So once we pass through Castley, it'll go back into Des. As you can see, Des is armed in blue. And it will continue on down then. Am I on VATSIM? No, I'm not, dude. No, I'm not. I don't think there's any controllers. Don't think there's any controllers on there at the moment. It's a bit early in the morning for New Zealand. Yeah, no one on. You still on a Zulu approach? Well, you can definitely still fly it. You can definitely still fly it. I've definitely flown it in an airliner before. There we go. We've got Des. Flight level 130 magenta. And we are going to pass through the transition altitude here. So I'm going to go to local altimeter. I'm just going to use B on the keyboard. Just to make sure it's correct for this approach. Because we do want it to be absolutely bang on for an RNAV approach. Oh my lord. That looks so good, doesn't it? Wow. That literally looks photorealistic, doesn't it? That looks so good. My lord. This side doesn't look quite as good, but we're not as close to that side, are we? Look at that. Do I have the Orbx New Zealand mesh? Yes, I do, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm remarking so much, I think, because I just picked that up today. It does look great, doesn't it, Goody? Woo! Baby! Here we go. Queenstown's just down there to our left. There's the airport. Alright, which means we can probably get the ATIS, it seems though we're so close. There we go, we've got we've got Queenstown Airport and Queenstown. We're going to go Queenstown. Oh. Okay, we can't get an ATIS. I wonder if that's an issue with the scenery then, because... actually, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so we're going to pass through the transition altitude we already have, in fact. So let's just have a look. We've got 12,000 in blue now. Let's bring this further down. We're going to keep coming. Keep the descent coming. We're going to come down to 8,600 on the altitude. So we've got 10,000 magenta alt in magenta again. So we're going to do the approach checklist now. So briefing is confirmed. Ecam status is checked. Landing distance is 37 miles. Seatbelts, we might as well go and turn them on now as well. We'll go ahead and turn on the nose, runway turn off, and the landing lights. So seatbelts are on. Bar ref is set 1019er. Both sides. Minimum is set 4142. Sorry, I can't read today. 4,120 feet is set on both sides. Engine mode selector is norm. Approach checklist complete. We'll go for medium auto brake for this landing. Probably going to need it. We could probably do a quick landing calculation actually, although it probably won't work because we don't have the weather data, do we? Let's just try it. See if it can get some information for us. Okay, so it has got some information. I'm not sure where it's got that from, but it has got it. So let's just quickly punch this in. Runway altitude 1171. Runway heading 053. There is a slight uphill slope, but I'm just going to leave that out because I don't have time to calculate. The landing distance of Vale, in fact, we're just going to put in 0 there. We're going to put the landing distance of Vale. Runway 05. Oh, it doesn't actually say. Have to bear in mind, though, the PAPI is at 3.2 degrees for this runway. Doesn't actually say the descent angle either on the RNAV approach, which is interesting. So we'll put the full runway length in. Not sure if necessarily this is the wisest thing to do, but we'll put it in. And then the approach speed is, I'm going to actually activate the approach phase now, and our approach speed is going to be 129er. Flaps are going to be full. Reverse, yes. Calculate. So there we go. We can't use low auto brake at this airport because it's going to run us off the end of the runway. So we'll have to use medium auto brake or max manual. Boom, here we go, guys. Whew. How close you fly to this mountain, it's incredible. Alright, let's pay attention here. Okay, so we're on approach phase. As you can see, we're flying just below green dot speed actually, so I'm just going to go for flaps 1 here. So speed is checked. Flaps go to 1. Okay, and we are slowing down. We've got a speed restriction of 185 knots at LETPO here. It doesn't seem to be using that constraint, so I'm actually going to go ahead and just select that as a selected speed. I'm going to arm approach mode at this point and see if it works. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we'll go for track FPA then. And I am just going to pull that. And I'm going to put in, it doesn't say the amount of, it doesn't actually say on the chart any vertical speeds or descent angles on here. So we are just going to have to guess. I'm going to go for 3.2 degrees because that's what the PAPIs are on. Okay, so here we go. Final approach. Excuse me. Okay, so once we arrive at Goosas, we should be at 6,200 feet. That can be a altitude check for us. And let's see how we get on. I'll catch up with any chat messages once we get in, guys. I'm just going to have to pay attention here. The 6,200 at Goosas. We've got 1 mile to go, or nearly 2 miles to go to Goosas. We're at 7,200. So we're not descending quick enough, I don't think. So I'm going to go to 3.4 degrees. Runway in sight. This is a much steeper approach than the other chart that we looked at. Okay, so we're still a bit high here. I'm going to go to 3.6. On the FPA, we're going to go for flaps 2 and gear down. Nothing to see there. Okay, so we've actually got some altitudes we can check against here at this part of the arrival. So at 8 miles from the next waypoint. Oh, we've only got 6 miles to go, so we should be at 6,040 feet. Okay, so we are actually a bit low now. Let's bring that back to 3.2. Now, at 5 miles, we want to be at 5,720. So, again, still a little bit low. We're looking very, very high, though. I'm not going to lie. 4 miles to go. We want to be at 5,400. So we're a bit low, but we look very high, don't we? We look very high. So at QN 581, we're supposed to be at our minimums, which is 4,120 feet. But the airport elevation is 1,100 feet. Why? I'm so confused. Oh, we have to do a we have to do a circling procedure, I believe. I completely missed that on the original chart. So once we get to QN 581, we have to do a right turn. We have to basically spin around in a circle. Okay, so 1,420, we're at a minimum, so I'm going to push to level off, and I'm going to pull the track and start turning us to the right here. Oh! This might not be the correct procedure here. But I'm pretty sure we are spot on. This is pretty wild. I'm going to carry on descending once we're over the hill here. And we're going to keep turning. I'm going to go to selected speed. Probably a little bit late there, selected speed. And I'm just going to use the track to turn me around here until I can get the airport in sight again. I'm going to ease on that descent a little bit. This is interesting. I can't believe I missed this off the charts. Right, so let's go to flaps 3. Speed is checked, and we'll also go straight to flaps full. I am going to take over with manual control here. So autopilot is disconnected. No, it's not. There we go. We'll take off the flight directors, and we've got the bird, so that's fine. And we are now just going to do a visual maneuver into the airfield. Going to go for a full 30 degrees of bank here. Runway in sight. Alright, let's bring the cabin.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Okay, landing checklist. Cabin crew advised auto thrust is speed, auto brake is medium. Eco memo is landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Here we go, guys. Once we've landed, I'll have another look at the charts and I'll show you guys what it is that I've just kind of had to work out here on the last minute. So we've got 4 whites currently, I can see. So just going to keep this slightly higher rate of descent for a second. This is a very spicy approach, isn't it? I was not expecting this at all, and I'm gutted I haven't started the replay Let's just at least get the landing, I suppose. Okay, so we're still a bit high, 500 feet. I'm not sure if the pappies are entirely correct because that picture looks not too bad to me. It looks at least like 3 whites.
300, 200,
There we go, that's a bit better.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I've just slammed that into the ground, haven't I? Okay, so reverse normal, spoilers, and decel 60 knots. Manual braking. Oh dear. Oh, that was a bit hard. That pappy was interesting though, wasn't it? I thought it was supposed to be a steeper angle than normal. Eh dear, oh dear. Okay, so there should be an area to turn around here. Look at this scenery though. So stunning. Why is it... Oh, it keeps doing this where it'll just brake me to a complete stop without me actually pressing the brakes down. Oh, anyway, let's get the flaps retracted and the spoilers disarmed. I'll try and vacate the runway before... Oh, look at these runway textures. Very nice. Try and vacate the runway before everyone else gets here. So, yeah, you can see there's some markings on the ground here at the end for us to turn around with. What is going on with the brakes? Why does it keep putting them on so hard? Anyway, you can see there's some arrows on the ground. So we'll go ahead and follow these. Oh, it's very tight. Full nose wheel deflection to the right. Should be able to make it. Beautiful. Yeah, that was tough. That was a hard landing, wasn't it? That was a hard landing. I will admit that. That was a hard landing. The way that kind of fell apart, it was very relatable. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be quite honest with you, the reason I think that I was so thrown off by that is because I didn't read the chart properly. I did not read the chart properly. We'll have another look at that once we get in here. I can see Shut's coming in, hot and fast here. I'm still on the runway. He's definitely still got his right turn to do though, surely. Oh, is he gonna do a go around, or is he? If you need to land, if you want to go and eat your food, just do it. Just close your eyes. All right. So anyway, let's get the predictive wind shear off and the weather radar off as well. We'll put our TCAS to standby. Okay, so after landing checklist, flaps are retracted, spoilers disarmed, APU, we can go ahead and turn that on. APU is on, radar is off. And the predictive wind shear is off. After landing, checklist complete. Yeah, we all missed the circling, didn't we? We all missed it. I'm not sure what's going on with the brakes on this aircraft. It seems like as soon as I put in the tiniest amount of brakes, it's giving me really high brake deflection, even though I'm putting in only a tiny bit. Right, so we're leaving the runway now. Let's go ahead and turn off the landing lights. We'll put our nose light to taxi. We've got APU avail. We'll start with chrono. And we'll come in. Welcome to Queenstown, everybody. This is the iniBuilds scenery. Looking very nice. So we'll go ahead and park round somewhere to the left here. Got GB coming in for his landing. Love to see it, love to see it. And I think we'll come a little bit around this corner here. And it looks like we've got some stop bars on the taxiways here for various stands, I imagine. I'm not sure if this is because you would get towed into a stand. And look at that, it's done it again with the braking. Why does it keep doing that? I do not understand. That's super just killing my immersion here. Chris, take it easy, brother. I'll catch you again soon, mate. Enjoy your Chinese. All right, so my brake sensitivity is still set to what it always has been. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Very strange. Okay, so I think we're gonna go for this stand right here, number 5. Yeah, very, very nice scenery, this. A little bit off center. This first stop bar is for the A320. Let's stop there. Oh, I've still got my strobes on. Oops. All right, let's get the nose lights, and the strobe lights should have already come off. We'll turn the AP bleed on, and we'll turn both engines off. Turn the seatbelts off as well. External power is avail. Oh no, I've just done it again. How many times am I going to do this? I've just ruined the replay, guys. I do apologize. I don't think we want to see that back anyway, do we? Because that was a hard-ass landing. So, fuel pumps off, beacon light off, seatbelts are off. Let's get the ground services on the way over. It's not going to be a jetway here. Let's get the stairs on the way. Beautiful. Fantastic. This scenery is epic, isn't it? Okay, so parking checklist. Yellow electric pump is off. APU bleed is on. Engines are off. Seatbelts are off. External lights as required. Fuel pumps are off. Parking brake is in. And no chocks. Parking checklist is complete. Might as well turn the APU off on the stand here. And we'll leave it there. Fantastic. So, let's have another look at this chart then, guys. And we'll see what we missed. So, yeah, I can't believe I missed this, to be quite honest. So, if we're looking at the chart again, this is the approach we did. Round this way here to QN 581. Now, I thought that basically it's just a visual segment from here to here, and for some reason it didn't click in my mind that these altitudes are not at all really matching up to where I think I needed to be, or where we were going to be. So that's my bad. However, I've never come across a procedure like this before, where you fly an RNAV in and then you do a visual maneuver at the end. Well, I've come across them before where you do a small visual maneuver at the end, but nothing like this. So this is your visual circuit here. So once you get to QN 581 at the MDA, which is 4,120, which we more or less did, and we leveled off at that point. And you can see here you've got a visual maneuver around to the right, or if you're going for the opposite runway, you can take a left turn and come round this way into runway 23, I believe it is. Runway 23, yep. And yeah, so you can see we did the visual maneuver more or less, you know, fine. We managed that, but we were still a bit too high, I think, coming in there. And yeah, it was just not easy enough to, you know, I was coming down too quick, couldn't really flare it off, so it is what it is. But anyway, the procedure is to overfly QN 581, take a right turn, and then back on yourself in to the runway. And I had, to be honest, I had no idea this procedure was so spicy. That is a pretty tough maneuver to do. Yeah, I had no idea. But there you go. There you go. Maybe you guys caught that. Maybe Asa caught that. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway, that's that. That's where I went wrong. But it is what it is. Okay then, so let's have a bit of a look around this airport then. This is the scenery by iniBuilds. Set my controller back on. Hopefully it's not lost all its bindings. Now we're good. Okay. Perfecto. Beautiful. Okay. So here we are. Let's zoom out a bit and then I'm just going to catch up with some chat messages before we carry on. Alright, let's see. So, Mariner got whiplash. I don't blame you, dude. I absolutely do not blame you. Not sure how to get the views any better. Yeah, it was some absolutely amazing views. 2 miles to Goose Ass. Which one was Goose Ass? There we go, Goose Ass. Oh, that's another one for the emotes. That's another one for the emotes, Paul. How is it that you always hear these? You always hear these words that I just do not hear at all. Goose Ass. Right, brilliant. Manacle, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well, dude. Welcome, welcome. Just in time to catch a hard landing. Lior, welcome to the chat as well. That was the circling altitude. Yeah, I figured that one out now, dude. I think, yeah, I don't think I'll be forgetting that one again, but there we go. Oh, there we go. Here comes Asa. Not too bad. Not too bad. But yes, Nephilius, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it happens to us all, doesn't it? Me quite a lot recently by the looks of things, unfortunately. But it was a stunning approach, wasn't it? It's stunning. Brilliant. Fantastic. Alright, let's have a look around the scenery then. Look at how small this other runway is. Absolutely miniature. I mean, it's got a good length. That's what she said, but it's very, very narrow. And I'm sure these pappies were... the pappies didn't seem right to me. Yeah, that looks very shallow. That looks fairly shallow, doesn't it? That's 2 whites and 2 reds there. That looks quite shallow. It does say on the airport charts that the pappy is 3.2 degrees, so I would have thought it would be more, a little bit higher than what you normally see. But hey ho. Let's have a look at the airport anyway. So it looks like they've done some nice work here on the roads actually leading in to the airport, which is quite cool. There's a fence around the airport, which is always good to see. My frame rate is really very stuttery in this area, though. I'm not sure if that's the airport scenery or what. We've got a car park. I'm not sure if these buildings are added by the scenery or not. Oh, it looks like they are, yeah. Main entrance. Look at that font there. Is that really the font they use on this building? That's like what Courier New, what you get on Notepad. And then we've got... I'm just going to slow the camera speed down a bit. It's very, very quick. Glacier Southern Lake helicopters. Another helicopter building here. The helicopter line. It's a very small airport, isn't it? There's some people working here. Pretty cool use of the static people there. Got a little hangar. It's closed. Is there anything inside it? No. Milford Sound Flights. Pretty nondescript hangar there. And then it looks like they've still done some more roadwork down here. We've got a bunch of little hangars over here. I guess more helicopter GA type stuff. What's this one over here? Oh, I've got some shops even. Queenstown interiors. Very good, very good. Alright, now let's have a look at the main apron. This is what we all like. So, the texture's looking very, very good, although a little bit blurry. Texture's looking pretty convincing, though, I will say. There's a guy walking down here. Oh, he's disappeared. Oh, his shadow's still there, but he's disappeared. Look at that. Right here. Got some Jetstar little cargo pods. And then we've got a staircase. More baggage. Some more baggage. They don't really look like suitcases, do they? They look more like, I don't know, Christmas presents or something. With the colourful, shiny wrapping. But the modelling is very, very nice here. Very, very nice. Some of the textures are a bit lower res than normal, but I am getting quite close on them here. This is very nice, this window. Terminal B departures. Or B departures, sorry. That looks quite cool. And then there is actually an interior here, which is looking quite good. A few chairs and whatnot. A bit of interior detailing. Quite nice. I like it. Definitely better than the default. Loads of clutter down here. Is there an interior here? There is an interior here. Is there an interior here? There is an interior there. And then we've got C departures as well. Oh, baby. Even more interiors. Very nice. Got Acer here. He's floating above the ground a bit. I think that must be different scenery. And then we've got the control tower. Very good. Not quite as much detail as Flightbeam, but it is a smaller airport and it does cost less as well. So not that much less though, actually. So yeah. There's something in here as well. Oh, a check-in hall. Brilliant. Didn't see this one before. Amazing. And it goes right through. Fantastic. This is the land side. I didn't even realise I'd come around to the land side. Some little statues. Very cool. They've done a lot of work on the land side here, haven't they? This is looking pretty fresh, actually. Very nice. They've even got the bus stops right. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Well, that is that is Queenstown, guys. Apologies, I kind of messed up the landing a little bit there because I was looking forward to redeeming myself from the last sort of harder landings that we had at Skardu earlier in the week. I was hoping to redeem myself here, but clearly not. Clearly today's not my day. But look at this scenery, absolutely stunning. You can definitely see the New Zealand mesh by Orbx doing a bit of work here. You can kind of see along these mountains here, they're looking a little bit more defined than perhaps what they normally would do. And just this whole area is just absolutely insane. Look at this road coming up here as well. All the way up. All right, guys. That is going to be it from me for today then. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I think what we might do next stream, I might actually do a stream tomorrow as well, just to further test my setup here. But I think we'll do maybe a departure. We'll maybe do the return leg for this journey, because the departure out of Queenstown is also pretty interesting. Yeah, look at the departure video from last stream. Oh, right. Yes. I did say we were going to look at that today, didn't we? Let's do that then. Let's do that. Whilst that loads up as well, what I'll do is we'll have a look at the landing report on Sim Toolkit. Not that I'm really that interested in seeing how bad that landing was. What did it show on screen for the feet per minute? Did it actually show anything? Anyway, 600 feet per minute. That's by far the hardest landing I've done in a very long time. 1.2 G. And then looking at the actual report here in a bit more detail. I mean, we landed pretty much in the middle of the runway and in the touchdown zone, so I suppose that is a redeeming feature of the landing. So obviously it's a very short runway. We don't really want to float it or come off to the side, because it's also not the widest runway either. So I suppose, you know, that's my one redeeming aspect for this landing. But as a side note, look how accurate the ground markings are compared to how they look on the scenery. Very, very good. There you go. It showed RIP. Did it actually? That's crazy. Okay, so we want to be runway 14, don't we? Look at this little patch of light here. I guess where the city of Skardu is. All right, let's have a look then. We'll turn the weather to sometime during the day. And let's have a look. Obviously, we're not going to have the Pakistan livery this time. I'll at least put it to an Airbus livery so it doesn't look quite so out of place. Beautiful flight. Yeah, it was a really nice flight, wasn't it, Lior? Yeah, thank you. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, I'll take that comment, F-Cam. Yep, I'll take that. Yeah, it did go okay, didn't it? Considering. Any chance you can do a flight into Norwich sometime? Yeah, certainly, yeah. I mean, what I usually say is if you've got a flight you want us to cover on the channel, if you go to the Discord and drop it in there, then when I'm planning my flights, I usually go there and just check. If you don't have Discord, I will try and remember. So yeah, we can see if we can work that out. What is that sound? That was weird. All right, let's load the replay up. This is probably going to take a little while, but we'll load it up. nevertheless. But yeah, which airport would we be flying into Norwich, Paul? I don't want to know. Dear, oh dear. Now I do want to know. Now I do want to know. Harry, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the subscription, as well as Isaiah as well. Thank you very much. Hope you guys are well and having a fantastic day. Welcome to the stream. Thank you, thank you. So we're just going to watch a replay, but we are going to wrap up the stream after that. But we'll see how this replay looks. This is a pretty stunning departure. So let's have a look and see what this is like. I suppose what we can also do as well is we can have a look on Volanta while we wait. So if we bring Volanta up, I'm the 16th person to arrive at Queenstown today. Let's have a quick look here at our flight. So I like going on this 3D view and seeing the 3D profile of the flight. Always looks very cool. So we've got that right turn and then out and then coming in. So yeah, there we go. Very, very cool little arrival there. Little sort of corkscrew into the runway. And then a little bit more of a favourable landing rate here on Volanta, but still not really that great. 158, 582. Oh dear, oh dear. All right. This replay is still loading, as I mentioned. It's probably going to take a good few minutes here to load. Norwich Airport. Okay, got it. Got it. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll look it up, dude. I'll look it up for sure. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, though, Paul. Thank you very much for the kind words. I hope you guys have enjoyed the slightly upgraded quality. Hopefully that's been good for you. But yeah, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, Paul, and thank you very much for tuning in. Oh, look, there we go. It's loaded. Brilliant. All right, Land O'Lakes, thank you very much, dude. Thank you. Okay, let's see if we can play this back then. Yeah, we can. Oh, I can't change my camera though. Wait, there we go. Pretty cool seeing takeoffs on a replay. I hardly ever watch takeoffs on the replay. And I forgot to put the gear up until I got right over to these mountains, I think, if I remember correctly. Not sure what the best camera for this is, to be honest. Maybe a passenger view. We didn't really see many passenger views, did we, of this sort of departure or even the arrival, actually. I've actually watched this approach back a good couple of times. Yeah, I did forget the gear, didn't I? There we go, it's coming in. But yeah, I've actually watched this approach back a couple of times from, you know, the recording of the stream. And it's such a good approach. I love it so much. It's just so interesting. Nice buttery smooth frame rate around here. Oof. Absolute butter. How is it that I get worse performance at Queenstown, New Zealand, versus the bigger airport of Auckland. I don't quite get that. I did forget the game, wondered why the plane was not speeding up. Yes, I did, yeah. Although, having said that, we didn't actually reach the... I don't think we reached the acceleration altitude. Sorry, the thrust reduction altitude. Sorry, we didn't reach the acceleration altitude. The acceleration altitude is 10,300 feet, wasn't it, here? So, I think that was just me flapping a bit. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, amazing views. Looks smooth, no stutters. Yeah, it's super smooth around here. I just don't get why Queenstown was really, really stuttery, wasn't it? I guess it's probably an optimization thing, isn't it? Queenstown didn't release that long ago. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think any builds, they like to take the time with any updates they do, I think, because well, I mean, that's just how they work, I suppose. They seem to take a little bit longer over their updates. So maybe they'll update it with some optimizations later on down the line. Absolutely crazy views coming out of here. The only thing with Microsoft Flight Simulator is when there's snow on the ground, sometimes it gives this kind of blurry look to the ground, which is very strange. But nevertheless, it is what it is. See, this part up here, this like area here, this looks really good. Nice bit of definition. But then you've got these more sort of plain areas where it just looks very strange and blurry to me. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Oh, I've done the camera again, Griddy. I have no idea how. There we are up there. Actually got tons of clearance on the mountains, don't we, from here? Why is the camera controls are being very laggy right now? Look at that. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. So we are quite close to that mountain actually, aren't we? But I think if we turned any later, it could have been some big problems there. Look at that though. Whoa. Oh, you also found Queenstown hard on FPS. Good to know, good to know. I wonder if it's because of all the mountains around as well. But then again, having said that, there's loads of mountains around here, and look at the frame rate on here. This is just absolute butter smooth. Yeah, I would highly recommend binding something to that, Griddy, for sure. Because I mean, it just makes it easier to get to the. It makes it easier to get to these views as well, which I do very often. Look at that, though. That is ridiculously beautiful, isn't it? Holy crap, looking at it from this angle. Oh dear, what's happened? I think that's a crash, guys. It certainly is. Oh dear. So it was running super buttery smooth, and then all of a sudden it just dies. Oh well, never mind. Well, that was going to be the end for me anyway, so there we go, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your support as always. I know obviously it's been a little bit different today with me just streaming on YouTube. You guys will have to let me know whether you preferred it or not. But nevertheless, if you've enjoyed the stream today, please do consider hitting the thumbs up button on your way out. I would really appreciate that. But other than that, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you again possibly tomorrow. We might do a stream tomorrow and do the return leg of this this trip. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. Have a fantastic Saturday evening, and yeah, that's all from me for now. So take it easy, guys. Bye for now. My transition's not working. Hello? Hello. Oh dear. There we go. I've got nothing to put in the background of the stream ending because of the because it's crashed. Usually I will put the sim there. Oh dear. Oh dear, what are we gonna do? I guess we'll just have to end it there. But thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Griddy, take it easy, dude. Samuel, have a fantastic evening. Asa, take it easy, brother. FCam, thanks again for tuning in. Lander Lakes, of course. Paul, Mariner, brother, I hope you're well. Have a good evening. Lior, thank you very much as well for tuning in. Chris, I hope you're enjoying your Chinese. I'm sure you can't hear me right now. Manacle as well. Have a fantastic evening, dude. As well as DK, Nephilius. And anyone else that I've missed, thank you very much for tuning in. Hayden, if you're still there, hope you had a nice landing. Anyway, guys, thanks very much once again. Have a fantastic one.